Today we are starting with a new podcast series, Buniyaad. Buniyaad is all about sustainability. It is about laying foundation for sustainable living. So the first guest for Buniyaad today is Shruti Rawal. Welcome, Shruti.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
So Shruti is founder of Ewoke, which is a sustainable brand of clothing. Now I will request Shruti to introduce herself.
Hi, thank you so much again for having me. I'm Shruti Rawal. I'm the founder of Ewoke. Ewoke is a sustainable fashion brand and Ewoke stands for environmentally woke. That's how we coined the word for the brand. And the entire purpose behind starting the brand for us was to understand how can we curb climate change, how can we find and provide a solution to people to alternative clothing which is not polluting to the planet, not harmful to the planet. Fashion industry is the second largest polluting industry in the world today.
Yes.
So once I got to know of this, once I learned about the impact of the fashion industry on the planet is when I thought that I wanted to work towards a solution, and this is how the brand took birth. I'm a graduate of NIFT. I've studied fashion design. I was then working with the designer Gaurav Gupta in Delhi, and through all of my experience and through this journey of being around clothes and working so deeply with the fashion industries, when I started to see a lot of this impact, and that's when I realized that I wanted to do something differently.
Amazing. That was really amazing, your introduction, and I'm really impressed that at this young age that you have been starting to do all of this. Also, Shruti, now would you be able to tell how did you start on this sustainable journey?
So I was always a very eco-conscious person. At home I was always sort of the person who was turning off lights, turning off the taps everywhere, and everybody was always like very annoyed with me ki like iski problem kya hai, like let things be. It was always a part of me, but it was a very like a personal choice. And then when I was doing my final year project in college, we have to make our own design collection. And when I was doing that, I came up with the concept of an upcycled collection.
Wow.
So I took up a lot of scraps from a lot of different designers in the city, and they were very supportive. They were like, just take whatever we're not using and see if you can make something out of this. So I took that all up, and I researched a lot at that time about why people were upcycling, what was the concept of upcycling, and what was the need for upcycling. So there was a lot of research that I was able to do then. That I realized there was a huge problem of landfills in not just India but globally. There are islands full of only garbage, clothes, and so many clothes, and they're just piling up.
Yes.
And they're increasing by the year. So the idea was, what can be a solution? There's microplastics that go into the rivers and the water, and the sea life, animal life underwater is dying.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of these alarming things that I started to get to know of. The water consumption for cotton as a crop, that was something very, very new for us. In India, cotton is one of the most commonly worn fabrics.
Absolutely.
And I was reading about it, and we find out that it takes almost 10,000 liters of water to make one denim jeans.
Oh my God.
So that's a
huge.
lot.
That's huge.
10,000 liters of water. I read about all of these things, and the collection that I finally made was received very, very well. We took up all these scraps, and I made a collection of 7 ensembles, and I won the design collection award for the year. Thank you. So that was definitely very encouraging also, but that was also the stage when I very consciously started to absorb the impact of the industry that I wanted to be a part of.
Right.
So then there was a very, very clear motivation for me to be a part of this industry but provide a better solution.
Amazing.
Better solution for the people, better solution for the planet,
Right.
and all of the life and ecosystem around us. And this is all for us. This is not
Absolutely. We are not doing anything for somebody else. Yeah, it is our earth, it is our planet, and we
Yes.
have to work towards it.
To save
I would
it.
like to share a few kind of data on this matter itself. What says is the clothing and textile industry today actually contributes to $2.4 trillion of global manufacturing. Oh my God. It employs 300 million people worldwide across the value chain. Many of them are women. And it is responsible for an estimated 2.8% of the world's greenhouse gas emissions.
Yes.
And around 215 trillion liters of water per year are consumed by the industry. Very well mentioned, as you were telling about the jeans also.
Yes.
And the annual material loss of US is $100 billion due to underutilization. And the textiles account for approximately 9% of the annual microplastic losses to the oceans.
Yes.
So that is what Shruti was mentioning today on this podcast. That is why we have come up to just bring awareness first, because there are a lot of people who are not even aware, and accumulation of clothes and everything else just goes on. The cupboards keep filling and you just throw it like that.
Yes.
Here and there, and we are not even
Yes.
aware that why we are buying so much.
Yes.
So yes, Shruti, so how do you think your Ewoke is now going to have an impact on the society, or you have already started to create that impact?
Yes. So we started in 2020. It's been an amazing journey. Like you rightly said, it's first so important for us to just create awareness about what is sustainability as a lifestyle, of course in fashion and everything else that we do. So there was some very clear foundational ethos for the brand that we set out. There are 3 to 4 main SDGs, the Sustainability Development Goals, that we wanted to address. One of them is responsible production and consumption, climate change, life underwater, like we were talking about microplastics and how they sort of run into the waters and the river streams, and life on land as well.
Yeah, so for the viewers, these are the 12, 13, 14 and 13 and 14 SDGs which Shruti is talking about. So you can just check on that also. This is how you will start to become aware.
Yes.
So every week we will be starting to address a few of these SDGs, and today we are doing for 12, 13, 14 and 15.
So climate action, responsible consumption and production, life below water and life on land.
Yeah.
These are the 4 main SDGs that form the ethos for the brand. How we're looking at addressing these are across the value chain, across everything that we do at the value chain level. The first and the foremost is the raw material that we work with.
Absolutely.
So we don't work with any cottons, we don't work with any polyesters. Polyesters are basically plastics. So we're banning plastic bottles, we're banning single-use plastic, but nobody's talking about plastic clothing, which is polyester clothing.
Actually, because that is how I feel when we started off. Like in our olden days, when we were small children, we used to wear clothes from our cousins also. But today everyone wants new clothes.
Yes.
And that is why we are seeing so much of underutilization of the clothes also.
Absolutely.
Also, I was wanting to mention is that when we were young, we used to wear especially cottons and silks. Those were the materials available.
Yes.
So, and suddenly as we grew up, the market started to flood with so many types of materials.
Yes.
And that is where the whole problem started.
Because these were cheaper. Brands saw a lot of monetary value in working with cheaper materials. So, but nobody was thinking about the impact of these materials. but over time, as this is compounded, everybody is starting to realize not just the disadvantages that it has on the planet. If you see, even on your skin, you're not comfortable when you wear a polyester clothing.
Actually,
in the summer, you just can't
we
wear
cannot.
you know,
Yes.
polyester based.
And the best thing about cotton, especially Indians, if we know all about khadi, is that cotton could be worn in any season. Like it was so, linen was so pleasing in the summers.
Yes.
And the other big khadi material was also good for winter. So cotton was the right one.
Absolutely. So we're not working with cottons, we're not working with polyesters, we're working with all these alternate materials. One of them is hemp. That's what I'm actually wearing. Like you rightly said, I can wear this all year round, in the winter season, in summer. It's so breathable and it's very, very soft on the skin. And of course, in terms of the environmental impact that it has, hemp helps us save almost 2/3 the amount of water that cotton crop needs to grow.
Absolutely. I was reading it all because I need to do my little homework. So I was reading about this. Yes, that because cotton also takes lot of water. That is what I was reading about. And then hemp is not taking that much water. So water consumption is little lowered. Another one which I was reading was about mulberry. If you could also tell about more of them.
So silk as a fabric is very soft on the skin. Absolutely. We work with ahimsa silk because that does not sort of kill the cocoon at the larva stage. So we work only with ahimsa silk.
I've heard that's for the first time.
Yes. So that's a little bit of something that we've sort of that's really close to my heart. We don't work with any animal based materials. We work with vegan materials like ahimsa silk. So that's one of the other materials that we were able to sort of understand, look up and start to introduce in our collections, which we use for our festive collection. It has a beautiful shine, amazing luster, and it looks just as gorgeous, but with a little bit of an extra care for the flora and fauna around us. So we work with hemp, we work with ahimsa silk, we also work with materials like tencel and bemberg. These are all globally certified materials, which are certified for how much water is being used in these materials, is the water being recycled, what kind of chemicals are being used, and are they chemicals that are soluble in water. So at a very grassroots level, we're trying to understand what are the raw materials that we work with, and all of these are biodegradable. So when we talk about landfills, we want to work with materials which can be biodegradable so that they don't end up in our landfills.
Absolutely. So because it is not just one way that if I am using less clothes, that is enough. No, it is through the manufacture. The whole process is important.
Absolutely.
From what is the raw material, how you are making it, and how you are discarding it. The whole process is where it has the sustainability has to come.
So and like you said, even how you wear it, the maintenance of these clothes is so important. We don't need to wash our clothes as often. We can be very, very careful about when a garment actually needs a wash. And if it can be a gentle hand wash, it doesn't have to go for a dry clean.
Absolutely.
So even the maintenance of the clothes becomes just as important. And like you rightly said, the discarding, the last step. Can we refurbish these clothes? Can we hand them down? And the last stage would be, if we absolutely need to discard it, then is it biodegradable or is it
Absolutely. So here I would like to introduce the 6 R's also, which are of sustainability, very important 6 R's. So we rethink. The 6 R's are: we rethink, we refuse, and then we reduce, we reuse, we repair also, and we recycle. So repairing the clothes is a forgotten thing, and nowadays I'm thinking, because as soon as it is just little torn or little hem is coming out, children will just want to throw it off. But we used to just repair something and do all of this, and again we wear it again. So that was no shame in that. Everybody was able to repair even the shoes, everything we were able to repair and then wear it again. So now you will be able to share some practical tips on how we have to really like an ordinary person, how an ordinary person, a lay person can really contribute to sustainable fashion?
Absolutely. So number one, I think is if we're able to read the tags on these clothes before we purchase something, that could be very important as a consumer to understand what are we buying and what are we investing in. Does it talk to us about a sustainability initiative? It can be anything. It can be a very small effort. But are we investing in promoting brands which are at least starting to make an effort versus brands who are just doing business the traditional way? I think reading materials and labels and tags can be very, very important.
Yeah, so that awareness is very important. That is the first point, to be going and seeing the labels, not only for the price but also for other things also.
Composition of the material, absolutely. I think second can absolutely be the maintenance of these clothes, like we were just talking about it. Can we repair it? Can we wash them lesser? Can we wash them just by hand, a gentle hand wash? It doesn't have to go for a dry clean. So these can be little steps that we can be very mindful of while storing our clothes and just keeping them safely.
So on this note also, I can share that, like, my mother and like all her sisters and everybody, like I used to remember, they used to go for a wedding and then used to come back, and they never went for the dry cleaning to the sari immediately. They will just put the little soap on the falls and the fall will be clean and they will again be ready to wear it again.
Absolutely.
So I said, why you are keeping? No, it will be spoiled when we give it for dry cleaning. The luster and shine will just go, and this is enough.
Absolutely.
So now that I am going for my people's marriage, so I started to do the same thing. I wore the lehenga and I came back and I just washed the falls
just
down.
Gentle,
and then I again put it back there. So yeah, very
absolutely.
well, maintaining the clothes is very, very important.
Exactly, it helps increase the lifespan of the garment if we don't damage by washing ever so often. I think third, very simple switch can just be saying no to a plastic bag that the stores give you. If you have your own shopping bag, just carry it with you. That can be for stores, for clothes, it can be for your groceries, it can be for anything.
Yes.
We go shopping, we carry like our small fabric garment bag and we just put everything in there. We just went for a holiday and you buy little souvenirs and they're all coming in these plastics. We just refused. We had our bag, we just stuff everything in there. We said, you can keep your plastic. They were a little confused about, what is going on. But I think it can be just as a tourist, as a traveler, as a citizen, it can just make so much of a difference.
Absolutely.
So wherever you're sort of going out, just carry your own water bottles, carry your own shopping bags. It can just do so much more than what we think.
Absolutely.
So I think these can be some of the things.
I can add one more, I think, if you agree on this or not. Now we have, there are so many people who are giving clothes on rent.
Yes.
So especially to fill your wardrobes and you don't want to repeat the clothes, because it is not good for the Instagram pictures. So if you don't want to repeat, so it is better that we can get it on rent.
Absolutely.
And we save the space at home, and we are also saving on money, and we are also saving on those garments because they are again reused and reused, so it is okay.
By someone else, one-time occasion outfits I think absolutely can be rented out. Because like you rightly said, people don't want to repeat some of these clothes very often. So very occasional outfits can just be rented out,
and we can also take it from our friends and family.
Absolutely.
Because I was reading the other day, one of the ladies, she did that for her young daughter for some occasion. She put a post on the Instagram that she had taken it from her friends in the colony. Because that lehenga and all that girls didn't want to wear, but for that occasion she really needed that lehenga, so she just borrowed it and she put it out. So to make it clear that it is not a shameful act, we are not ashamed of taking somebody's clothes and wearing it. Why that shame?
Yes.
No, suddenly this has come up that I wear my own clothes, so it is okay to really share our clothes in the family and friends also.
Absolutely.
So this can also be one of the ways to practically how we can be more sustainable in the way we are doing our fashion.
Absolutely. And we also, I think the last thing that I can maybe share is, we also, like you were saying, if there's a little tear, people sort of think that we just need to throw it. We have so many clients who come back to us with their old saris also. If they get a little tear or if they get a little stain, we completely transform them into like a new dress and a new outfit. And you ultimately end up having a new outfit now. Their grandparents' saris, their mother's saris are now like revamped into gorgeous dresses.
Absolutely.
So it's an absolute win-win to just recycle, repurpose, and rethink, like you said.
Absolutely.
Rethink.
So we can upcycle the clothes. Like I have also made cushion covers, even cushion covers out of my old suits and everything. And even saris, we can make all those things. So these are the different ideas. And as audience, if you are listening to this, you can give lot of comments in the section below, and you can share your own ideas as to how you have been doing upcycling or to your clothes, so that anybody who will be reading, they will also get some ideas from this. Yeah, so thank you so much, and I would like you to share a small message for the audience who will be listening to this.
For sure. I think one of the biggest things that I feel people sort of have a hesitation or is what, like, is the little thing that we do, is it going to make any difference? Is it going to amount to, a big change? But I definitely feel the answer is yes, yes, and yes, because the little things that you do today, the little things that you do every day are also going to be watched by someone else around you. They are going to pick up on it, and they'll start to do a little thing, one day, and someone's going to watch them, and it's only going to be a compounding effect.
Absolutely.
And it's never too small and it's never too late. So if you're watching this podcast, if you can pick up on one tip from everything that we've just talked about, everything that you've shared, and start to implement it, it will definitely have a huge impact, and it's going to be an impact that you will be very proud of.
Absolutely.
So I think that would be my message to everybody.
Thank you so much, Shruti, and I'm sure everybody will take a lot of takeaways from this podcast. So viewers, keep watching, because next week we will have another very wonderful guest coming up speaking on different kind of SDGs. And if you know somebody who can really come and share their own story here about sustainable development, you can DM me. And if you really want to be having that contributive citizen of the world, please join me in this Buniyaad podcast, so that we can lay the foundation for sustainable living. Thank you so much, Shruti. It was really wonderful. Namaste.
Thank you so much. Thank you.